The Speaker of the Johannesburg Council, that's Coleen Makhubele, has convened a special council sitting. This is scheduled for tomorrow. High on the agenda, a possible motion of no confidence against the Executive Mayor, Dr Mpho Phalatse, this time initiated by the African National Congress. Well, the convener of the meeting is here in studio, Colleen Makhubele, and she is the Speaker of the Johannesburg City Council. Speaker, thank you very much for your time. Let's begin with that extraordinary meeting. What is it about?
Morning, Colleen, and good morning to the viewers. Thank you very much. Of course, the meeting was convened to deal with a motion of no confidence against Dr. Mayor Phalatse, and also some agent reports that we need to deal with, an election of some chairpersons. As you know, there's been a change of guards in terms of chairpersons as well, so we have to elect the impact chairperson. But the motion of no confidence was withdrawn by the programming committee yesterday. It is not going to go ahead. So that is because we are not prepared to go to courts to use judiciary to interfere with the political matters of the City of Johannesburg. So for that reason, as the Speaker, I felt it prudent to pull it back so that we deal with whatever technicalities that the DA feels are in that motion.
Yeah. What would have been the grounds for the latest motion of no confidence against Mayor Phalatse?
In fact, it is the same motion that removed her on the 28th of September and that the court dealt with as well, and found that some procedural aspects, of course, were, well, the judge felt that were not followed through properly. We're not going to go to the merits of that because we believed we had grounds to appeal, but we did not. So we have forfeited our rights to even debate that aspect. However, we looked at the motion again as a programming committee, and it turned out that post the fact, the Action SA has gone to resuscitate a court case that was dormant, that did not inhibit the motion at the time to go to council. But now they have created an inhibitor for this motion to go into council. So 26 October they went to court to reopen the case, and 14 October they also submitted a report with some aspects that pertains to that motion to a Section 79 committee. And our rules are clear that if a motion has any substance or anything within it that is in the court of law, or it's sitting in any committee of our council or any committee in any government sphere, we cannot proceed with it. So they made sure that they take it after the fact to create those issues for us. So in the light of that, I felt it prudent as a speaker to say we don't want to go and tangle and wrangle in the courts with our mayor. And what we are after, what we want as the City of Johannesburg, is that we deal with internal matters internally within the structures of council. And if those things truly were of good faith, fair, etc., they would have been brought properly to the committees and dealt with. But they waited for the committee to approve the motion and then jumped to the media with all of these facts. And we're not interested to be in the media, to be in the courts. So we are going to run proper processes internally to protect the reputation of the city, to not waste taxpayers' money once again going to the courts, and also to ensure that everything that we do within the city is really for the best interest of the residents, not really to take each other to court and point fingers at each other in court. That's not how I want to run the council. Speaker,
you have to give us clarity here. So there's a matter that is before the courts right now, and that matter, as I understand it, it was taken to court by the former mayor of Johannesburg.
Exactly.
That's Mashaba.
Yes.
And he is trying to review a report of the public protector which found that he had acted unlawfully in regards to certain appointments and possible interferences. How does that connect with the motion of no confidence that was taken against Mpho Phalatse? Where does the sub judice rule apply to a motion of no confidence that was carried out and which the court threw out and said procedurally the office of the Speaker was at fault? How do the two connect?
You're asking a good question. That is exactly what we're asking ourselves as well as counsel, to say, how does the DA feel there is a connection between Herman Mashaba's case and Dr. Phalatse's case? And they're planning to interdict our counsel sitting on Thursday on that basis, that even our legal counsel says there is no legal basis. But because we have to look at matters now in a bigger picture, I'm the Speaker now. My first and foremost priority is to protect the residents of the City of Joburg, protect the taxpayers' money, because if they take it to an interdict, the city must then defend and pay for it, and we're not interested in that. You can see that the DA's move is to block council debating on a motion. If they can stop us from going to council, they think they are safe with that motion. But we know that the strength of council and councillors and everybody that's in the political sphere in the City of Joburg, it's in council. That's where we debate issues. That's where we wrangle with each other. And that's where we win or lose, not in the courts. So this ploy to use anything to block the motion coming into council, we see it for what it is, but we're just not going to accept their invitation to go in that garden path once again to interdict that, because we had cured what the judge said was procedurally wrong. We gave the sufficient time to deal with the motion in the programming committee. The majority of the parties represented in the programming committee, which is all the parties in council, by the way, are represented in the programming committee, which set to look at this motion once again. And we all agreed, the majority except for the DA and the Action SA, we all agreed that the motion is ready, it can go to council. Once we agreed on that and I set the council date for Thursday, then comes media attacks on my office, on my person, and also all of these sub judice issues and threats to interdict. We're getting legal letters. So we realized that here we're dealing with a different kind of politicians that do not want to go to council and hustle and wrestle politically, but they're using judiciary to interfere and also prevent democratic processes from taking place in council. If they are so confident of their position in the mayorship, let councillors decide on that.
Yeah.
You don't need to have this drama and prevent us.
Speaker, I put it to you that there is no connection between the matter that's before court and a recent motion of no confidence against the mayor. I'll explain myself in a moment. Stay with us. We continue with this conversation in a bit. If you're just joining us, you find us in the middle of a conversation with the Speaker of the Johannesburg City Council, Colleen Makhubele. And Speaker, let me explain myself why I'm saying there's no connection between the case that's before court and the recent motion of no confidence that has now thrown your office into the spotlight for doing things unprocedurally. The case that's before court, that's the case I've just explained to you a short while ago, to say it's Herman Mashaba who's gone to court to try and review a public protector report which found against him. And the only connection there is to Mpho Phalatse is that at the time, Mpho Phalatse served as MMC in that administration led by Herman Mashaba, and it was found that part of the irregularities that occurred at the time is that there was some money that was given to some NGO, which NGO Herman Mashaba used to, I think, chair at some point, and therefore millions were channeled towards that. Mpho Phalatse's crime was that her office at the time, it's alleged that she possibly would have facilitated for those funds to go there. That's the connection, Speaker. So where is the connection, again I ask you, between the motion that you say it's actually going to be revived, which deposed her at the time, irregularly so, and the court said you were wrong. Make that connection for me.
Colleen, I think you are correct. There is no connection. And we have argued that even in our papers when we went to court. We even submitted an affidavit to that effect, that there is no connection. The legal division within the legislature has submitted proof and papers to say there is no connection. This is a Herman Mashaba matter in his own person, not even as Herman Mashaba as a mayor. Herman Mashaba as a person.
Before you go ahead then, Speaker, if we both agree that there is no connection, that tells me that there is some dishonesty on your part, because you're saying that this motion of no confidence against the mayor is a motion of no confidence that she would have faced at the time that she was deposed as mayor. You're simply bringing it back in order to do things procedurally correct. You're not being honest, are you?
Why not? I'm being very honest. The only thing that we don't want to is to have an interdict again and go and defend it. Remember, when somebody brings an interdict, they are forcing us to go and defend in court. It's either we stop the whole council and pause everything that we are doing to entertain the DA, or we're going to defend it in court. And that means we're going to spend money again as a City of Joburg to defend some frivolous issues. So we are not going to entertain them in a court process because we don't have, Colleen, this is very important, and I'm humbly asking South Africans to hear me when I say this. Our judiciary needs transformation. Our judiciary has a politically inclined mindset that is not healthy for our country. And we see it in the judgments that we've seen recently. If there is no transformation such that we can believe and trust in our judiciary 100% to make judgments that truly we feel are fair, are sound, and are not impartial to any political party, we would today take the risk of going again for an interdict. But for those reasons as well, we've decided it is not worth our time to go the judiciary route, because what the strength of the DA is to use the judiciary, is to use the media, the strong PR machine to rubbish everybody and everything and make you believe that we are in the wrong, we are delinquent, we are unlawful, unconstitutional, when we know very well, and the papers are clearly showing that. But for some reason, judges are human too. Maybe they err.
Speaker, let's use the example of Ekurhuleni. Mayor Tanya Campbell was a DA mayor. She's deposed now. That city does not have a mayor. They did things procedurally. You have had to withdraw the latest motion of no confidence against the mayor simply because of a sub judice rule, which we now both agree actually has to do with Mpho Phalatse and a matter where she was MMC in. I'm saying to you, Speaker, reflect on your actions and tell us the truth about what is driving you with these motions of no confidence. Why are you a champion of motions of no confidence? Is it not the job of political parties to do that?
And this is what I wanted to have this interview, so that I can also educate. One of my roles as a speaker is civic education, so that people understand when there's a motion that comes, it is not a speaker who brings a motion. It is not a speaker who puts it into the agenda and withdraws it. It's a programming committee. It's all political parties that sit together and decide this is the motion that goes. And yesterday, the programming committee sat once again in the light of what the DA wants to do and said, in the interest of the city, Speaker, we suggest that we withdraw this motion. It is not a speaker. I am simply a chairperson of council. I don't champion motions. I don't bring a motion to council. I don't propose it. I don't second it. I facilitate the debates around the motion, that they are fair, the debates are carried out in the manner that they should, and I facilitate the voting around it. But it's political parties that meet. Each and every party is represented in a programming committee. And I'm glad you asked that question, because that is very, very important to understand, because there's a narrative that is going around saying it is the speaker. Of course, I'm the face of the legislature, and I have to accept that anything that happens starts with the head. But it is political parties that drive. Council is run by committees. Those are the committees that drive what goes into the council agenda.
And so, Speaker, if this is a political party-driven process, the motions of no confidence, is it not supposed to be a leader of some political party that is championing the latest motion of no confidence who should be sitting where you are sitting right now as opposed to yourself. Some people are viewing this as a complete misnomer, that here's a speaker who is supposed to be concerned with oversight issues within the council. And you are here defending motions of no confidence, which, by the way, you keep tripping on because somehow there is something that's pressuring you from executing on these motions of no confidence. What is that pressure?
So, and I like where we are going with this. You should have called the proposer of the motion to sit on this chair to explain to you what is happening. But you know why I need to be here to talk to you? Is because the attack of the DA in the media is on the speaker. They know very well how the process works. But because you attack the speaker, you are attacking the whole system of the legislature. You call the speaker delinquent for a motion that they know very well it's not a speaker's responsibility to do that. And that's why you also don't know who to call when you want to understand what is happening in legislature. You automatically will call the speaker to come and explain. And I understand that.
Yeah.
And I would explain any other agenda item that if you had interest in it, because we deal with a lot of things. Right now the speaker is busy with a report that we are bankrupt, you see. And nobody is paying attention to that. The city is 5 billion under at this stage, under the previous administration. Nobody's paying attention to that. Even if you had called me to defend that, to say, why is that in the council agenda, I would come and say that. But I'm not the one who's put it in there. Yeah. It is the executive responsible for finance who put it in there. But because I'm a custodian of the council, I have to come and explain to you so that we remove the distortion and this evil and wicked narrative in the media to paint Coleen Makhubele, the speaker, as a champion of motions. I don't do motions. I don't even know whether there's going to be a motion tomorrow or no motion tomorrow. But when it comes, the programming committee accepts it, goes to the agenda of council. Yeah. It's my responsibility that it's executed, and it's executed in a manner that is fair and it's free and everybody participates.
Let me tell you, Speaker, that whilst we are talking, the leader of Action SA, Herman Mashaba, has asked to come into this conversation because he would like to reply on some of what we have been discussing. But while we do that, let's talk about whether or not, and this is a direct question, are you being pressured by the ANC to execute on these motions of no confidence? Are you on the payroll of the African National Congress?
I'm in the payroll of the City of Johannesburg. And I'm pressured by political parties that sit and propose motions and propose whatever must come to council to come to council. If the ANC sits in that programming committee, they are part of the pressure group. Every party, minorities, everyone sits in the programming committee and decide what goes into council. And the issue of being in the payroll of the African National Congress, we've dealt with it before. They went to the police stations saying we are bribed by the African National Congress. It's really nonsensical. The DA, when they don't have anything to hold on to as a credible and plausible reason for what they are doing, they must find a scapegoat, they must point a finger at somebody else, they must paint everyone as a stooge of the ANC at the moment. We're serving the DA with everything that we had. They didn't have a problem. We're voting for them. We're doing everything that needed to be done when we were with the multi-party coalition. They didn't have a problem. I'm a speaker now. If you are a councillor and you propose anything that must come to council, I must take it to council. I cannot say no because you are ANC. I cannot say no because you are DA. It is my duty to tick the boxes with the legal team if it's indeed fit to go to council, and it goes to council, whether it's ANC or AIC or AHC or DA or Action SA, it doesn't matter.
All right. Speaker, I'm told that the leader of Action SA is on the line. Mr. Mashaba, good morning to you, and thank you for your time. I'm told you wanted to call into the show because you want to clear something. You have the floor.
Yes, good morning, Coleen, and good morning to the speaker. Coleen, I just really by luck happened to watch your program, And obviously, as a responsible South African, I cannot really sit here and allow the Speaker of the City of Johannesburg to lie to you. So I thought, let me bring this on record. My matter between him and Mashaba and the public protector is a matter that has been going on since 2018, obviously with the final report which he released in 2020. And I made it clear before even the public protector coming out with the final report that in the event she can find anything against me, I will take it on review, because this matter is totally ridiculous. You know, and it is what it is. It is for that reason, Coleen, when the Speaker lies to you, that I just submitted my papers a few weeks ago because of this motion of no confidence. I thought, let me clarify it, because let her do her job. She must not really act like a small child in a candy shop. It looks like this position of a Speaker has put her in a powerful position that she's actually above the law. This matter between them and the DA has got absolutely nothing to do with me. It is a fact that the motion that they've submitted is not admissible, because the matter is before the court. I don't really prescribe to the court. As far as I'm concerned, I would have wanted this matter in court a long time ago, so that my name is clear. There is more than sufficient evidence. It is for that reason, Coleen, for your information, that the public protector actually is not even defending her report. Is not defending my judicial review of her report, which is something I find strange. That if she felt that I was that wrong, why is she not really defending her matter? So I just really wanted to clarify this with the Speaker, not to really lie to you and lie to people of South Africa.
Mr. Mashaba, when you say to someone they are lying, that's quite strong. What specifically
it is like that.
What specifically is she lying about? She's listening to you right now.
She lying to you that him and Mashaba went the church with the courts a few weeks ago. Remember when she started with you? She said, I complained, used this as an excuse to come out with a review of the public protector's report a few weeks ago. This matter has been going on for years. At my own personal reputation, so I just really wanted to clear that because she's lying. She's not really done her work to see how long this matter has been running.
All right, let me ask you to just stay on the line for a moment. Speaker, would like to respond directly to that.
Coleen, I think Herman just woke up. He didn't hear your introduction. You are the one who brought the matter of Herman, and you explained the chronology of the matter of Herman. We don't know why these old men really are hanging on to things that have nothing to do with them. So I can't dignify him with a response on I'm lying with what. Did he even listen to the interview? He needs to go back and listen to the interview and stop being this irrational old man. I'm not doing politics here. We're not campaigning here. We're dealing with a serious matter of counsel. In fact, I think he should have, for his own sake and his own character and his own integrity, should have stayed away from this interview. It has nothing to do with him. Zero to do with him.
Mr. Mashaba, your response before I let you go?
Mr. Ngambi, we cannot, as South Africans, allow the Speaker of Council to behave like a child in a candy shop and actually to come on the public platform, actually lie to South Africans. If she knew the rules of council, she knew this matter was not admissible from the beginning. And for her, please go into your interview, what she said to you about my involvement in this matter that I've just recently acted on this matter. This matter has been before the courts for years.
Let me say this to you, Mr. Mashaba, as I let you go. Do you believe that the Speaker is perhaps acting outside of the rules for some reason, and what reason would that be?
Well, she's completely really, I think she's excited, told you. That's the best way I can explain it. She just really, she's under impression she's the most powerful person in this country, that she can operate outside the law. I think it's really more to do with excitement than actually using rationality. And also at the same time, I want to really make it clear to the DA as well that, and I want want to distance Action SA from this court case that the DA has launched against the Speaker and the programming. This matter has got absolutely nothing to do with us. Please, let us leave this case between Herman Mashaba and the public protector. This matter, it's a fact that this matter is before the courts. If the courts can be allowed to sit tomorrow, I'll be the happiest South African, because I need my name cleared from the public protector's report. So what the DA is doing is just really delaying tactics. I'm not really sure what the end game is as far as I'm concerned. But at the same time, I'm asking the Speaker to please respect the rules of council.
All right, Herman Mashaba, thank you very much for your time. Speaker, let's conclude our conversation.
Yeah, Dolly, I just want to say, Herman is so confused. Really, I feel sorry for the party at this stage. Because on one end, he's going off on leave my matter, etc., and, I'm doing something wrong in council. In the same breath, this matter has nothing to do with DA, they must leave me alone. What exactly is he on about? I mean, can the old man sit back and relax? If I'm excited to be in this position, it's fine, I'll calm down as time goes on, in that position. Correct. But what I want to say is this. This matter of the motion of no confidence that we're so rudely interrupted on, I've agreed with you in your assertion that you have put, and you've put serious questions before me, that I answered in the affirmative to say it has nothing to do with Herman Mashaba. The DA is using it, of course, to put an agent application in court. And the only reason we are not going to cancel with that motion of no confidence, it is this matter that is sub judice that has been put in the agent court applications. And we are not prepared to go and have these arguments. You say, what happened now? That's exactly why we are not going to the courts. Because we're inviting this kind of nonsensical arguments that really, at the end of the day, they don't serve you, they don't serve the residents, and they are not serving in any way the business of council. The business of council is to go to council, debate the motion, and vote on it when it comes.
Speaker, I'm closing the conversation, but I cannot help but laugh, because you have just said, we are not going to council with this motion because of the sub judice rule. Do you hear yourself speak? You are the champion of this motion of no confidence. You and I agreed just moments ago.
No, we didn't agree on the champion.
Political parties ought to be the champions of motions of no confidence. Yours as Speaker is to stay above the fray.
Let me tell you, once it comes through programming to the Speaker and it goes into the council agenda, I'm the champion of every agenda item on that council. Every agenda item that comes. I know the motion is very interesting for everybody else, so you would naturally say that. Every other agenda item, if you call me to come and talk about it, that sits on the council agenda, that has been approved by programming, we'll talk about it.
Coleen Makhubele, let me leave you. Let's leave this conversation here, and hopefully next time you'll grant us the same opportunity if and when a motion of no confidence does arise against the Mayor, Mpho Phalatse.
If and when. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. That's the Speaker of the City of Johannesburg Council, Colleen Makhubele.